around this year. Should be a 1/2 inch wrench. I put a little WD-40 on it to soak in, start loosening it up first. So what we'll do is we'll tap these with a 1/2 inch wrench. Just kind of loosen them up a little bit. We got that side. Now we'll go to the other side. Easier from the stretch.
While he's doing that, guys, the materials you're going to be needing are all on this pad, and you can pause the video if you want to look at them.
1/2 inch wrench, any kind of hammer will do. And you're also going to need 2 C-clamps. These are 3-inch C-clamps. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy job. So you're going to loosen both those bolts up that you tapped out. And you can pull them right out. Set them aside. Then
the magic happens.
The caliper should lift away from the rotor. Sometimes it takes a little force or maybe a tap or two. I'll see if I can get this one off without tapping it. So this is kind of an important step. If you look in here, here's your brake line that comes in to the calipers. So what you want to do is you can either use a C-clamp to hang it temporarily, or depending on the model, if there's something up in here where you can kind of tuck it back, I can tuck it kind of back here behind the shaft where it'll hold in, because we don't want to bend this rubber line too much down in here, this brake line. You don't want that to fall. This is a heavy piece of steel there, where if it falls on that brake line, you don't want it to tear anything in an old hose or anything that you don't need to replace. Otherwise, you'll be running to the parts store. So here your rotor is exposed and your brake pads, which is easily hung in by a clip, metal clips on the inside. So they usually just peel right away. Try to use your wrench to maybe pry them out of there. And then it just comes out right out of these 2 clips. So that's one side. And then you have another brake pad on the other side. And they come right out. So
see right there, right these two are the 2 old brakes.
So, usually it doesn't matter a whole lot which side the clip.
Those are the new brakes.
But here's the new replacement ones, and they just kind of slide back in. I remembered that the clip off of this first one was angled down on the inside part of this. So you just kind of press it onto the rotor.
And also, guys, I'll leave all the information in the description about this car, and and the title. You should already know.
Should just be pressed together. So from this point, you want to put the calipers back onto the rotor. So I can kind of pull my calipers out where I can get to them without putting too much strain on that hose. If you come around this way, you can kind of see a good angle of it. But then what I like to do is, see, these have pressure from the brake fluid and the brake line. So in order to get this back on, we want to press these 2 calipers back in to the higher assembly there. So what I like to do is I'll use the old brake pad that I had on there, and then this is when you utilize your C-clamp. Just somewhere where it'll fit, where you can get to it. Even a size bigger would probably work, but since this is what I have to do the job right now, I have to make it work. Get started with this C-clamp, and once you get it in, it shouldn't pressurize too much to where you can't get it off. You just want to get it really started on one side, Start your other side. And that will start to push those calipers back in as you tighten it. Keep that steady. Start working both of the C-clamps. Kind of getting in the way there.
This is a 2008 or a Chevy 2008 Impala, correct?
That's right.
This process may take a couple minutes, so you can probably already see by the video.
Anywhere about 10 minutes once you get the tire off. Alright. Those are in pretty good. So those calipers should be depressed just about as much as they're going to go. You can take those clamps back off.
Don't you have to take them off fastly?
No. Sometimes, depending on how much pressure is in there, they can come out, but it should, for the most part, be pretty stable. You'll have to pump the brakes with the car on to get it pressurized again. So then from there, you just want to lift the shell of this around there, line it back up with your screw holes where you took it off. Sometimes the brake pads will kind of move around on you when you're trying to get them back in, but like that one just did. There we go. There's one side.
And you gotta get down to the other side, or on the bottom.
Shouldn't be this difficult, but sometimes it's tricky.
That brake pad looks like it keeps on wanting to come out a little bit.
This stuff will move around a little bit on you.
Are we gonna have to do that process all over again?
Let's hope not. Otherwise, I'm not making a very good video, are we? There we go. Takes a little doing. That took a few extra seconds.
Extra seconds?
This is only the handful of times that I've ever changed out a brake pad, so I am not a certified mechanic, but most certified mechanics would probably tell you you don't have to be to change out your brake pads. So get those two nuts, or those two bolts,
Back in there.
started back in, and feed through this crossover assembly. Once you get those in there finger tight, you can tighten it back up with your 1/2-inch wrench. Just a good little torque on it, nothing too much.
Right.
And you're done.
Alright, so once again, all the materials you're going to need is
A hammer, 9/16 wrench, WD-40 to loosen up before you start your job, and 2 C-clamps, 3-inch or above. 6-inch would probably work just as good. And that's all you need.
Alright guys, once again, everything will be in the description. And this car is a Chevy 2008 Impala, and that's probably just about it. So I hope this guy has helped you out a little bit, and please give me some feedback on my channel, and you know, all that good stuff. Leave a comment below if it works, and then see you soon.
We're
Bye-bye.
rookies.